I'm Yuka Shimizu. I started working at a construction company right after college. I was in the planning department, but work was pretty hard. Our manager, he looked down on women. He never took me seriously. He always told me to make tea for the other employees. Sir, I came up with a really good idea. Will you take a look?
You again. Look, you're a woman. You're gonna get married and quit in a few years. Just go make me some tea or something.
But this is really good. Please, just give me a chance.
I said no. I'm busy. Get out of my face.
He was always like this. He didn't even read my proposal, all because I'm a woman. This is unacceptable. I went to talk to Murakami. He was a colleague of mine. He's so unfair. He didn't even take a look.
Yeah, and your proposals are really good. Much better than mine if you ask me.
Murakami was impressed with my work. This one is really good too, but he won't even give me a chance.
Hey, I got an idea. Let me hand this in under my name. He'll love this for sure. Then, after he says yes, we'll tell him that it was all your idea.
Really? You do that for me?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Murakami. So the next day, he handed in the proposal under his name. The manager loved it. He put together a project team right away.
Great work, Murakami. Thank you.
I was allowed to join the project team thanks to Murakami. There were 6 members on the team. One of them was Mrs. Kobayashi. She had a kid in elementary school. I respected her very much. The manager gave her a hard time for being a woman, but she didn't let him get to her. And she was always helping me out. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. I just heard you came up with this whole idea, right? Yeah, Murakami handed it in for me though. I love it! I can't wait to see the look on his face when we tell him it was all your idea. Thank you, Mrs. Kobayashi. A few weeks later, we had to give a presentation to the executives. All the higher-ups were going to be there, including the CEO, and I was the main speaker.
The manager's probably gonna flip out, but forget him. You got this.
Yeah, I'll show him. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. My name is Shimizu, and...
Wait, what are you doing here? I thought Murakami came up with this whole idea.
Nope, it was me.
What? You guys lied to me?
Everyone started talking.
What is this? And there's no way you came up with this. You're a woman.
Well, this was the only way to get your attention. You never gave me a chance because I was a woman.
Yamaguchi, is that true? What does her gender have to do with anything? Well, sir, most women quit when they get married or pregnant, so I told her to stick to making tea and photocopies.
I brought countless proposals to him, but he never even looked at them. I brought them all. Take a look. I started handing out my past work to the executives.
This is amazing. This would make us a lot of money. True. Yamaguchi, what's wrong with you? I'm sorry, sir. Shimizu, these are really impressive. So tell us more about this project.
Thank you, sir. Of course. So I started my presentation. Everyone there loved it, even the CEO. The manager just sat there in silence.
Shimizu, that was amazing! Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Yamaguchi, she's brilliant, but you didn't even give her a chance because she was a woman? You're unbelievable. We're gonna have to rethink your position. Wait, sir! Please, wait!
The manager chased the CEO as he walked out of the room. Once everyone was gone, we started celebrating. Thank you, everyone! I couldn't have done this without you. Great work, Yuka. I'm so proud of you, but we're just getting started. Let's keep it up.
Yeah, let's do this.
The project was a huge success. I got a big promotion after it was done. But on the other hand, Mr. Yamaguchi got a demotion. He was no longer the manager. He was demoted to section chief. Mrs. Kobayashi took her spot as manager. He was devastated, but I was really excited. Mrs. Kobayashi, congratulations! I don't know if I'm up for this.
You'll be a great manager.
Thanks, guys. I'll do my best. So now, the planning department was under new management. I was no longer discriminated against for being a woman. Mr. Yamaguchi, do you have the documents I asked you for?
Here you go.
This data is from last year. I asked for this year's data.
But that was the only one in the archives.
Wait, you went to the archives for this? Why don't you just go online?
Well, I'm not very good with computers, so...
Oh, right. Well, you better ask someone to teach you. I know. What about Sakai?
Sakai? You mean the new girl?
Yes, everyone else is busy, so he's the only one available right now.
Okay.
So he went over to Sakai.
Sakai, I need you to teach me how to use the computer.
What? You don't even know how to use a computer? How do you survive all these years?
Well, when I was your age, we didn't have computers, and...
Whatever. Here, I'll show you. It's really easy. So Sakai went on to teach him how to use the computer. Mr. Yamaguchi could barely use the computer. He couldn't really do anything. The new girl was much more useful than he was. I was embarrassed for him. Look at him. This must be embarrassing for him.
Yeah. Oh well. Good riddance.
My name is Maya Uchiki. I'm just a regular old college student. My college life has been nothing but great. I'm not too used to living alone yet, but I'm actually kind of enjoying the scramble. All right, time to study hard. Lunch rolled around after my lecture was over. I always did something special during lunch. I would call my boyfriend, Ryuichi, who was attending a different college. You're calling your boyfriend again? You don't get bored of him, huh? Shh, stop interrupting me. Okay. The peanut gallery will be quiet now. Hello, Ryuji?
Yo, Maya! You just finished up your lecture? I'm actually bored because our lecture was just canceled for no reason.
Cool. Anyway, where do you want to go for this weekend's date? We always plan our weekend dates out with each other during our calls. By the way, last week, we went to the outlet park.
We can't just keep going out shopping in the movies. They're all pretty boring right now. What should we do?
Yeah, and the zoo or aquarium are overdone too. We've been struggling to find things to do on the weekends recently. We've pretty much gone to all the places we wanted to go. There aren't many places left that we want to go to. As I was struggling to decide what to do with Ryuji on our date. You don't have to go anywhere, do you? Why struggle to decide where to go? Huh? Why don't you guys just hang out at one of your houses? You're off anyways, just rest and relax. I didn't think of that. I had a boyfriend, so I figured that if I didn't go out, I would be missing out on something. I suggested that we just hang out at Ryuji's house when...
Oh, that's a great idea! Hey, you cook, right?
Huh? Oh yeah, I made myself lunch too.
Man, you make your own lunch? That's crazy! I cook for myself sometimes too, but I'm not that good at it yet. Can you cook me something this weekend then?
I was surprised by this suggestion. I don't want to let this chance to cook for someone I like go. Of course, it's perfect. What kind of things do you normally eat?
You know how cooking can be pretty tough, right? I eat a lot of frozen foods. You know, gyoza, fried rice. Then I just buy some random veggies and stir-fry it.
I see. I asked him what he wanted to eat and then...
Something that's homey? Like some rice and stew or something. Oh, how about pork broth soup? That'll be perfect.
Okay, I'll do my best for you. He also asked me to make 3 meals worth of rice and pork broth soup for him, as additional request. I had to do my best to cook an amazing meal for him. I visited his house this weekend and started cooking. Before I visited Ryuji's house, I went to a nearby supermarket to buy ingredients. Since I needed to make enough for 3 meals, it was quite a bit of food. What should I do with the seasoning? He said that he cooks on his own, so I guess I don't need to buy any. After I finished shopping, I headed home carrying all my groceries. The weekend rolled around and I did my best to cut back on trash that I'd be leaving at his house, so I started preparing the food here. Carefully, more careful than usual. I never cooked for anyone other than my family in my life. I was just cutting the veggies more carefully than I've ever cut them in my life. After I finished preparing everything, I headed to Ryuji's house. He was a college student living alone and the room was a mess.
Whoa, what's with all the Tupperware? You can just use the fridge or wherever you need to. Alrighty, good luck.
I don't need luck for this. I was under a pretty big amount of pressure to make something good, but I really just wanted to cook something to see him happy. I just went to check the fridge to see what was in there first. There were some snacks, beer, and frozen foods. Hey, Ryuji, you don't have any seasoning in the fridge? Where do you put your seasoning?
Oh, my bad, it's in the kitchen cabinet. Just use that.
Oh, okay. I opened the cabinet like he said, and who would have thought? What is this? It's just salt, pepper, and ponzu. To make things worse, the salt and pepper were all mixed together. This is all the seasoning he's got? I can't make him his pork broth soup. I decided to go by the grocery store nearby to pick up some seasoning. I'll be right back. I need some more seasoning.
Huh? I thought you were a perfect cook, huh? My mommy always cooks things really good just using what's available to her.
I don't think you understand. I can't cook anything with just those seasonings. Even the leftovers in your fridge aren't enough. You've just got frozen foods and snacks. I can't do anything with that.
Yeah, look at the excuses rolling out. If you're really good at cooking, like you said, You'll be able to cook using what's available to you. If you have time to be making excuses like that, just hurry up and go buy whatever you need.
What the hell is that attitude? He's seriously pissing me off. I was pretty mad, but I decided to hold back my anger towards him and headed to the supermarket. That little piece of... Who does he think he is? I'm so mad, I'm so mad, I'm so mad! I can't believe it! Ma'am? The store employee looked pretty concerned for me, but I didn't care. I just wanted to finish everything up. After I got back to his house, I finished all the cooking at a speed that surprised even myself.
Whoa, it's good!
I'm gonna head home after I finish washing the dishes.
What? Why don't you hang around a little? Are you upset because I was spot on about you not being that good at cooking?
He's never been so far off the mark. I ignored him, quietly put away the dishes, and headed home. The next day, I was walking with Rena to the station when...
Yo!
Huh? What did you want?
Oh, don't be so mean like that. I'm your boyfriend, man.
I was completely over this guy after yesterday's behavior. I didn't want anyone thinking this guy was my boyfriend.
Oh my gosh, Rena, hear me out. This guy has just been in a bad mood all day since yesterday. It's cute not being that good at cooking.
He started talking about yesterday's events as if they were something to be proud of. Apparently, he was under the impression that if you can't cook something up using the leftovers in the fridge, you were a terrible cook. You realize that if there was a solid supply of seasoning and your fridge didn't resemble something out of a middle-aged alcoholic, then I could have made something up real quick. But you didn't have any seasoning or any food at all. I went over there under the pretense that I'd be cooking a homemade meal for you. And you expect me to cook something for you with your leftovers? That's completely wrong.
Oh, come on, don't worry about it. You don't have to be so up in arms. The food was delicious. You can just do better next time, right? You wouldn't think that someone who can't just use the leftovers at someone's house is good at cooking either, right, Rena?
I think you might be able to make some stir-fry with frozen foods and salt and pepper. But you realize that stir-fried veggies isn't exactly something you want to whip up on your first trip to your boyfriend's house. That's just something you cook on your own when you want to use up food.
Yeah, exactly. People who are good at cooking can immediately come up with something to cook like that. That's what I was talking about. I'll look forward to next time.
I don't get it. Please speak English. Is this idiot okay? There won't be a next time.
Oh, come on, you've got jokes. They say that most things are just blessings in disguise. You can just cook something up better next time and all is well.
Sorry, I really can't handle people who don't listen to me, so we're going to have to separate for a while. Bye. I was tired of listening to a Ryuji who was clearly not taking the situation serious. I ignored him and went home. A few days later, Ryuji kept telling his friends about what happened, but most of the people kept telling him that he was wrong and a complete moron. In addition, what a weird nickname, Mr. Salt and Pepper Ponzu. Ryuji was being teased with a weird nickname. That's what happens when you mock someone and bring them down for nothing. Eat it, loser. My name is Noriko. I've been married to my husband Koji for almost a year. Our relationship is strong, and I get along well with my in-laws that live far away. Well, if I'm being honest, it was never always so perfect. In fact, there was a bit of an argument. Koji is from an old fishing town with many senior citizens living in the area. His parents originally wanted us to live together with them. Since Koji didn't want me to feel pressured, he declined his parents' offer, saying that living together is too old-fashioned, and Koji's parents held a grudge against that. It was during the first Obon holiday after our marriage that I realized how my in-laws felt. Koji and I got on a bullet train to get to his parents' house.
Hey, you don't have any food preferences, do you?
With food in his mouth, Koji asked just as if he remembered. No, why? When I responded curiously, Koji scratched his head.
Well, you see, I got a phone call from my mom yesterday asking if you have any likes and dislikes for food.
Oh, that's so kind of her. I was happy. This was going to be my first time spending a meal at my in-laws.
No worries. I told her that you'd eat anything except for chicken.
Thanks! I was pleasantly surprised that Koji had remembered about my food preferences that I mentioned just when we started dating.
Since my dad grew up in the countryside, he might be inconsiderate in some ways, but just let me know if anything concerns you, alright?
I was happy that Koji was being sincere, and I smiled, nodding my head in agreement. Completely at ease, we arrived at Koji's parents' house. I received a warm welcome from my in-laws, and I even thought maybe we could try living together someday. Everything was perfect until dinner came by. Koji told me you can't eat chicken, but we received plenty of meat from our friend who owns a bird farm. Since it's just my husband and me, can you two help us finish them? I'm so sorry. With all the food filling the dinner table, Koji and I were shocked. There was a lineup of fried chicken, chicken cutlet, chicken meatball, chicken skewers, everything made with chicken.
Mom, this is way too much food. I told you, Noriko can't eat chicken.
Koji raised his voice at his mother. His mother mumbles with a concerned expression. Hey, it's fine. It's not like I can't have any. As I smiled at my mother-in-law, I noticed her click her tongue and glare for a split second before smiling again. Oh, really? That's great then. Please, come sit. What was that? Taken aback, I stiffened a bit.
Hey, are you sure you're fine? You really don't have to.
With a worried expression, Koji patted me on the back. It's fine, really. During dinner, Koji's parents were friendly, except I couldn't help but think about the cold expression of my mother-in-law that I saw earlier. Hey, do you think your parents hate me? That night, after we got into bed, I showed my concern to Koji.
I'm sorry about dinner tonight. I know the farmers myself, so I'll give them a call tomorrow and see what's going on.
Yeah, thanks. His words calmed me down a bit, and I was able to get to sleep. The next day, Koji made an excuse of a work emergency and rushed to a train station far from his house where he called the bird farmers. So, what did they say? When I asked nervously, Koji responded with a stressed expression.
So, it turns out Mom asked for plenty of chicken.
Oh, I see. Lost for words, I smiled bitterly. I felt like fainting, but Koji grabbed my shoulders.
Hey, knowing my mother, I have a feeling that she might do this again. I can confront her, but why don't we take advantage of her?
What do you mean by taking advantage? Unlike his usual calm expression, Koji's eyes were filled with anger.
Your favorite food was fish, right? Like blueback?
Yeah.
I'll tell Mom that you're allergic to seafood.
Koji explained as my eyes widened.
Then, I bet we'll receive loads of fish. My parents will be able to harass us while we get to enjoy our food. It's a win-win situation.
And you're fine doing that?
I've never been so angry at my parents my entire life. Let's get them back for what they did.
Alright, let's do it then. I smiled, shedding a bit of a tear. Our revenge began. As soon as we arrived home, Koji called his parents to let them know we had a safe trip back home. He also took the chance to mention my seafood allergy. Seafood, I see. Several days later, as expected, we received a large box of Pacific sori from Koji's mother. I was genuinely impressed they were able to get so much fish. I feel bad, but I just want my son to enjoy delicious food from his hometown. I'm sorry, I hope you understand. When I gave my mother-in-law a phone call to show some gratitude for the fish, she fakely apologized. Oh, no worries, I understand. Even though I can't have any, Koji seemed super happy. Really? That's good to hear then. When I got off the phone call, Koji had his arms crossed, seemingly disappointed.
You know what's funny? She never sent me anything when I was living alone.
Oh? Well, I'm still thankful for the fish. I'm gonna cook plenty of delicious seafood cuisine tonight. At this point, I had let go of my anger and sadness and was genuinely looking forward to the outcome of the situation. After that, we received seafood regularly. When winter arrived, it was like a crab festival. Thanks to Koji's parents, we were able to have all kinds of crab dishes including hot pot, sukiyaki, and many more without worrying about grocery bills. Hey, what's your mom's favorite food? I asked Koji as we were opening our package as usual.
I think cream puffs? Why do you ask?
Cream puffs, got it. The next day, I went to my local bakery and bought dozens of cream puffs in a variety of flavors. I sent the cream puffs to my mother-in-law with a note card. Several days later, we received a letter from Koji's mother.
A letter from my mom? I wonder what's up.
Standing next to Koji, I pretended to be calm and took a glance at the letter.
I deeply apologize for what I have done at dinner previously. Wait, what's going on? What did you do?
I smiled at Koji, who was in a panic. Well, you see, I sent your mother a bunch of cream puffs along with a letter.
A letter?
I let out a deep sigh and explained to Koji what I had written in the letter. Knowing how wonderful Koji is as a person, I understand that you want to be with him. From serving chicken at dinner and sending all those seafood to us, I realized how you felt. I truly love Koji with all my heart, and I'm grateful to you for raising such an amazing person. Which is why I hope we can get along and have us live together as a whole family someday. I heard you love cream puffs. Please enjoy. After I finished, Koji brought me into his arms, hugging me tightly.
Thank you.
This is my truth. Well, except for the part that I'm allergic to seafood.
Let's just say your allergy got cured after eating all those crabs in small amounts with me.
We bursted out laughing. Couple of years later, we no longer receive seafood, but we have no regrets. My dear, how are you? My goodness, have you lost a bit of weight? No way, I'm doing great. Being completely comfortable with my mother-in-law. For me, that is the happiest thing of all. And one day, I would like to be able to sit around the dinner table under the same roof with a smile on my face. I'm a 25-year-old office worker. Actually, I spent most of my time in a lab. I was a researcher.
So hot. Ugh. Why is the AC off?
And this is Osawa. He joined us about 3 months ago. He was here temporarily. He was from a subsidiary company. Apparently, he was a really good salesman or something. But he was quite the character.
What the? The AC's broken.
It's November. The AC has been turned off. You can only use the heater. They told us that the other day.
What? It's still hot as hell out there. But you wouldn't know that. You get to stay inside all day long.
He was pretty rude, and it wasn't even that hot out there.
It's getting pretty chilly out there.
He was the only one complaining about the heat, and there was more. Every time he came back to the office,
I'm thirsty.
he always asked the new girl to bring him something to drink. But the other day, I was the only one there and he came to me. So?
Do I have to spell it out for you? Bring me something to drink. You guys get to stay inside all day long because of me. Don't forget that.
Was he serious? Who does he think he is? This isn't a cafe. Why don't you go buy your own drink? And the water dispenser is right there.
But you're the woman around here. Do your job.
Seriously? This isn't the 60s anymore.
Osawa, he's quite the character, huh?
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty annoying to be honest. I wasn't the type to look down on people, but... Does he realize he's from a subsidiary company? He was just so rude. Everyone else at our company was really nice. This made him stand out even more. But the higher-ups seem to like him. That's because they don't have to deal with him every day. To them, he was just a good salesman. Those of us who had to deal with him every day were pretty annoyed by him, but that was about it. Then, one day, I felt a bit sick. I had a lot of work to do, so I went into work anyways, but I felt sick again at the office. I had asthma. It was much worse when I was a kid, but I still needed my inhaler. I grabbed my inhaler from my bag, but then Osawa looked over at me.
What's that?
It's my inhaler for my asthma.
Give me that!
He grabbed my inhaler. Give it back! I tried to grab it, but he threw it on the floor and stepped on it. I didn't know what to do. I can't breathe. I had a spare inhaler and some meds, but I couldn't move. I started to feel really sick.
Osawa, what are you doing?
Someone called 911! My colleagues called 911 for me. I was rushed to the hospital. Luckily, things settled down after a little while. As I rested in the hospital bed, my colleague who called the ambulance for me brought over my stuff. You okay? She seemed really worried about me, but I was relieved to see her. Yeah, thanks for everything. I've always hated Osawa, but I can't believe he did this to you. She sat down next to me and sighed. The nurse was furious when I told her what happened. She yelled at me saying, "What kind of person does that?" I'm sorry to hear that. It wasn't even you who did it. I apologized, but she just smiled and said, "Don't worry about it. Oh, and I told her Osawa wasn't a person to begin with." Seriously? I laughed out loud. There's that smile. I'm gonna ask the manager if you can take the day off tomorrow. But I got a lot of work. It's fine, really. No, you gotta rest. The nurse said so too. Okay, thanks. I'm gonna keep a spare inhaler and some meds at the office from now on. Yeah, good idea. By the way, Osawa's gonna get fired. What? That was fast. It was from a subsidiary company, but still, I wasn't expecting that. It's not decided yet, but they're having a meeting about him right now. The CEO is pissed. He said he can't have people like him working there. And I agree, you could have been killed. True. But they might not reach a decision today. If that happens, she'll begin tomorrow, so more reason you should take the day off tomorrow. I'll talk to the manager, no worries. The thing is, we were a medical equipment manufacturer. We didn't make medicine or anything, but still, it was a lot of responsibility. We all took pride in our work. We couldn't have guys like him working here. 2 days later. Sorry for the trouble, but I'm all better now. Thank you for everything. I thanked everyone first thing in the morning. My manager was there too. Osawa was nowhere to be seen.
I can't go into details, but Osawa has been fired. We're a medical equipment manufacturer. What he did was unforgivable.
He said a few words after that and ended the morning meeting. That day during lunch break. Why did he do that anyways?
Well, from what I heard,
Osawa looked down on employees who worked at the office, and he really hated me. Probably because I refused to bring him a drink.
you always stood up to him, so I guess he didn't like you.
Still, that doesn't give him the right to do what he did. I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah, everyone in the sales department hated him too.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad everything worked out. So yeah, he lost his job. Things didn't look too good for him.
I saw Assault at the employment office the other day.
Good riddance. I'm just glad he's out of my life. Time to get back to work. Hey guys, dinner's ready. Looks delicious as usual, Natsuko. Let's eat.
Sorry, I'm gonna go buy some cigarettes.
What? My name is Natsuko, and I'm a 30-year-old housewife. Since my husband, Taichi's parents live within a driving distance, we visit them often. My in-laws barely cook, so I'm usually the one in the kitchen. Are we doing this again? Every time dinner is ready, my father-in-law always leaves as if he has something else to do. 10 minutes later,
I'm back!
he comes back with no signs of guilt. Well, let's eat then. Yes, let's eat. The food has gotten cold already.
Dinner tasted a bit off today.
Really? I just want to tell him it's all because of you.
Yeah, Natsuko, I think you're losing your cooking skills.
My sister-in-law joins the conversation. It's your guys' fault. Hey, is there anything you can do about your father?
Huh?
On our way back home, I told Taichi about my concerns. I know your family can't cook, but I think it's unfair that I'm always the one that cooks. And what is it with your father always leaving right when I serve the meal?
Oh, sorry.
Considering the kind of household that Taichi grew up in, he didn't think of it as an issue. Several weeks later, Taichi's birthday came up, and we visited his parents' home to celebrate. Today's a special day, so I prepared some fried chicken and fresh sashimi. There's no way my father-in-law will leave all this delicious food, is there? While I was preparing dinner, he checked on me in the kitchen and said,
Let me see. Looks delicious.
Then he left for his room. I think I got a pretty good reaction out of him. I made a small victory pose. Sorry for keeping you guys waiting. Food is ready. Wow, it's so nice given for a birthday party.
Yeah, appearance-wise, it's all right.
Let's give it a try.
They all spewed sarcasm as they sat around the dinner table. I'm sure it'll taste great if you eat it while it's fresh. It's just that you guys don't eat it right in time. Try to retain my anger, I stand up for myself.
Huh, don't make excuses.
She says, just loud enough so that I could hear her. It's not an excuse, and where's Taichi? When I realized that Taichi was missing, I found him lying on the couch picking his nose. Hey, come over, it's your birthday!
All right, I'm coming.
Taichi lazily approaches the dinner table and sits down. What is up with that attitude? Can't you stand up for me just for once? Oh well, it's his birthday. Alright, today is Taichi's birthday. Happy birthday! Let's enjoy your meal.
All right, I have to go to the convenience store to make a payment.
Oh dear. Cutting me off, my father-in-law left his seat, yet again. Wait, do you have to do that now? Can't it wait?
Nope. Payment was due 2 days ago.
He replied, turned his back towards me, and walked out the door. Oh dear, he can be so forgetful sometimes. Well then, let's wait until he comes back. Are we seriously waiting? I mean, look at this fresh, warm food in front of us. When I try to confront him, of course we'll wait. We must eat together because we are a family.
Oh, come on, Natsuko. You're older than I am. Don't you know your manners?
They all respond as if I am in the wrong. Taichi doesn't seem to care at all. How can he stay so calm when I prepared him dinner? We stayed silent after that. We waited as the food got colder. It was getting awkward. Hey, why don't we eat? It's better to eat it right away when it's still fresh. When I spoke, I received a glare. God, I hate this family. The convenience store is only a 3-minute walk from home, but my father-in-law came back after 30 minutes with a book in his hands.
Dad, what's that? Checked out the books section. I read a few pages and got hooked and bought it. Cool! Can I borrow it after you finish reading?
Me too.
I was appalled to say anything. Thank you for the food. I quickly ate the fried chicken that had become soggy and cold, as well as the sashimi that had been sitting outside. I just remembered I had some errands, and I'm going to the convenience store. I'd appreciate if you guys would clean up after yourselves after eating. I'll wash the dishes later. I left them a word and left the house. Little do they know that going to the convenience store was just an excuse to get some fresh air at the park nearby. I had to get away for a bit so I could think of a plan to get some revenge. This is it! I'm finally standing up for myself. After coming home, I cleaned up the house and left with Taichi. Several days later, Taichi and I went to his parents' house. When dinner time came around, I put on my apron as I hummed a tune. You seem to be in a good mood today, Natsuko.
I bet we're having a delicious dinner tonight.
Yep, I'm sure you'll like it. While the four of them sat on the sofa watching TV, I prepared the dinner table lining up the dishes. All right, everyone, dinner's ready. With enthusiasm, I called the family over to the dinner table.
It's about time.
I'm starving.
When everyone gathered, huh?
What?
What the?
Everyone's eyes widened.
Where's the food? Are we supposed to help ourselves?
That's right, I had only placed plates on the dinner table. You're welcome to help yourselves, but why don't we take a minute to say our gratitude for the meal, shall we? Natsuko, don't be so ridiculous.
Seriously.
Every time I say that dinner is ready, you always leave.
Well, that's because Dad has his reasons.
I keep going with the confrontation. So please, go ahead and run some errands if you have to. Well, I'll wait for you to come back. Until then, dinner doesn't begin. Since no one had anything to say, I took the chance to make a final statement. If you want me to cook, you will eat when the food is ready. If you can't do so, don't complain about the taste not meeting your standards. That is the least you can do to someone who cooks for you. They all glanced at each other and...
I'm sorry about everything.
My father-in-law apologized. All right, let's eat then.
Let's eat!
After showing gratitude, they proceeded to eat in silence, but gradually their face turned into a frown. See? Doesn't food taste great when you eat it right when it's fresh? Yeah.
You're totally right.
I was laughing internally. The meal was served fresh, but there's no way it actually tasted good. Because I purposely messed up the amount of seasonings I use in these dishes. Well, except for mine. This must be what victory tastes like. After everyone's admitted to their fault, I guess I'll make them a delicious meal next time.
I'm Masaki. This is something that happened to me when I was a kid. I was really smart. I got 100 on most of my tests. I always got the best grades in school. And my dad, who was a teacher himself, expected a lot from me. For many years, I got all A's. That was the norm for me. But then, something unexpected happened. What? All C's? I got 100 on every test and assignment, but for some reason, I got all C's. What? For real? How? You got 100 on everything! My friends seemed really confused. Like they said, I got 100 on almost everything. To them, I was a genius, so they couldn't believe this either. I didn't know what to do. I started to panic. Then our teacher came up to us.
You're upset, aren't you? Remember that feeling.
She said with a big smile on her face. I didn't know what to say. She was a new teacher here. My friend said to her, "But Masaki is a genius! Yeah, he used to get all A's! What happened? He got 100 on all the tests!" Yeah, how did I do better than him? It makes no sense! I was freaking out. Why did you give me all C's? I asked her. She let out a big sigh and said,
You can't expect me to tell you all the answers. Think. Use your head for once.
she said to me.
Go home now.
Then she left. I didn't even know what to say. A few minutes later, I started crying in front of my friends. Masaki, this isn't your fault. Don't worry about it. Yeah, man. We all know you're a genius. Forget about her. My friends comforted me, but I couldn't stop crying. It wasn't that I was scared of what my parents would say to me. I was just in shock. I felt so rejected, and the way my teacher said all those things to me, I was so upset.
Hey, wow, what happened?
I was still crying when I got home. Mom seemed really worried about me, but when I showed her my report card, she flipped out.
What is this? I thought you got 100 on everything. Did you cause trouble at school or something?
She yelled at me. I started crying again. Like she said, I got 100 on almost every test and assignment, so none of this made sense. A few hours later, my dad came home.
Masaki? What's wrong?
He seemed really worried about me. Then Mom told him what happened.
Come on, kid. Take a deep breath. Want some hot chocolate?
He told me to talk to him. He didn't raise his voice at me once.
Did you participate in class activities? Did you listen to the teacher in class?
Then he asked me a bunch of questions, and I said, yes. It was the truth.
I read all the comments too. This doesn't make any sense. And she gave him a B for understanding of the subject.
But he got a 100 on almost every test and assignment. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And if an all-A student got grades like this at our school, they'd call an emergency teachers meeting. Something isn't right.
What did I do wrong? I couldn't think of anything. But my parents were onto something. They knew something was up.
Masaki, I'm sorry I raised my voice earlier. Dad's gonna talk to your teacher tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, let's eat. What's for dinner?
Pork chops.
Awesome! Come on, Masaki, let's eat.
Okay. I was still upset, but I was glad my parents were on my side. The next day, it was the first day of summer vacation. She's probably not there, I thought, but from the looks of it, she was still at school.
Hello, I'm Masaki's father. I wanted to talk to you about his report card.
But a few minutes later, he grabbed the phone and went into his room. A few minutes after that, he came out. His face was completely red. Wow, he looks mad. Dad? What happened? Did I do something wrong?
No, you did nothing wrong.
Then he told me what she told him. At first, she just repeated what she wrote on my report card, but after last night's talk, Dad knew that those were all lies. So he kept digging. Then finally, she said,
Look, Masaki is a teacher's pet. He needs to experience failure. Otherwise, he'll get carried away. That's why I gave him all C's. I'm sure he'll become a better person as a result. Think about it.
She wasn't making a whole lot of sense. My dad hung up on her before she could finish her sentence. Afterwards, he called the vice principal and the principal and set up a meeting. The next day, we went to see the principal. It was my first time in the principal's office, so I was pretty nervous. When we walked in, they were already there. My teacher glared at me when she saw me. It looked like she was crying.
Stop doing that to my son!
My dad snapped at her.
Sir, we're really sorry about everything.
Then the principal and the vice principal apologized to us. I wasn't expecting that. Then they started talking. They asked me a few questions too. My teacher was freaking out.
It wasn't like that. I was doing this for him.
She started yelling. The principal told her to settle down. Anyways, I was surprised to find out that some of my friends' parents called the school as well when they found out about my grades.
My son told me he got better grades than the smartest kid in class. You sure this isn't some kind of mistake?
I wasn't expecting that. Most of my classmates knew I always got all A's, so they were pretty surprised to find out that I got all C's. And some of them talked to their parents about it.
You know Masaki? He got all C's this semester. He got a 100 on every test, though. I wonder what he did wrong. Maybe he misbehaved in class. No, he's not like that. Our teacher said, "You're upset, aren't you?" Remember that feeling? Not sure what she meant by that, but she made him cry, though. What? That sounds weird.
And one of my friend's older brothers, he had entrance exams coming up soon. So that's what happened.
That doesn't sound right. Your older brother's entrance exam is coming up soon. What if she does the same thing to him?
We better check with the school. I wouldn't want my son getting bad grades for no reason. I'll call them right now.
So they got multiple calls from concerned parents. They didn't want her doing the same thing to their kids.
We'll look into it. Thank you.
It's not like that. Listen to me. I just wanted him to experience failure so he wouldn't get carried away. I did this for him.
My teacher was in tears by the end.
I don't think teaching is for her.
A few days later, we got an official apology letter from the school. So it turns out she gave me all C's for no reason. The other teachers were supposed to check the report cards before handing them out, but they were just too busy to notice it. Also, she was doing this to the other kids. She graded her students based on how she felt about them. For instance, the handsome kid in our class got better grades than he was supposed to, while a quiet girl who usually got all A's got some B's. But unlike my case, it was subtle, so nobody said anything. This became a huge problem at school. I didn't know it at the time, but the teachers had to work almost every day during summer vacation to fix this. When the new year started, my grades got revised, and we got a new teacher. Dad told me this kind of stuff happened all the time.
Good students like you get unfair treatments like this all the time. Personally, I think it's nonsense. If I ever become principal, I'll make sure something like this never happens.
A few years later, he became principal of the high school he worked at. He was a man of his words. He was working hard for equality and justice for the students. I was really proud of him. Today, I work with kids. I'm not a teacher or anything, but I love my job. But turns out I wasn't a genius at all. I was just an ordinary guy now. But life was good.
Sorry I'm late. You're late, Doc.
My bad. My friend, on the other hand, he just got his doctor's license. So we decided to meet up to celebrate.
I'm Ayame. This is my husband Takashi and my son Shingo. Shingo was taking a nap. I decided to get started on dinner. But then my phone rang. Ugh, it's my father-in-law. It's that time of year again. I really didn't feel like talking to him, but I had no choice. I picked up the phone. Hello?
Ayame, it's almost New Year's. You know what that means?
Not really.
What do you mean? You forgot already? You gotta help us prepare for the New Year's holiday. You better be here by the 28th at the latest.
Ugh. Every year, I had to go to my husband's parents' house to help out with holiday preparations. Last year, they had this big party with all their relatives, and it was a nightmare.
Hey you, bring me another drink.
Hey, dear, I spilled some soy sauce. Can you clean it up for me? These people treated me like a servant. But he gave his son special treatment.
Takashi must be busy with work, so he doesn't have to come that early. But you and Shingo, you better be here. Got it?
He should be the one helping out. After all, they're his parents. My father-in-law was so bossy, I couldn't stand him. I tried to say no last year, but couldn't. But I took a deep breath. Then, I'm not going this year. I want to relax. Then, before he could say anything, I hung up. I blocked his number and threw my phone on the couch. That felt good. And the thing is, I only got to visit my parents for a day. It was so unfair. I want to spend time with my parents for a change. He's probably gonna call Takashi to tell on me, but whatever. And Takashi was always busy. He won't be able to reach him for a while. Screw them. I'm not gonna be bossed around anymore. It was time to fight back. A few hours later, I got a text from Takashi.
I got a call from my dad. He was pissed. I couldn't understand what he was saying. What happened?
Sounds like his father was pretty upset. I'll tell you about it tonight. Then I waited for him to come home. He's not a bad person, but Takashi was a kind person, and he always looked after Shingo on the weekends. But he grew up in a home where it was normal to treat women like servants, so he never said anything about the way his father treated me. Hopefully this will change his mind.
Hey, I'm home.
Takashi handed me a box of cake.
I got you your favorite.
Oh, thanks. He probably knew I was upset. Dinner's on the table. Go wash up. We'll talk after Shingo falls asleep.
What? Is everything okay? You're not leaving me, are you?
Why do you say that? Should I?
What? No.
He knew something was up. He seemed worried. Then, a few hours later, we sat down to have a talk. Today, I told you, Dad, I was finished. I'm not going there for New Year's anymore.
What? Why would you do that? You should call him and apologize.
Takashi stood up. Why should I apologize?
Well, I mean, we go there every year.
That's the problem. I don't want to go down there anymore. I tried my best to keep my voice down. They treat me like a servant there. I bet you didn't know that. You always get drunk and pass out. He could barely hold his liquor.
So what? Why can't I have a little drink on New Year's holiday? I want to relax.
Takashi raised his voice at me. So I stood up and said, I want to relax too. Ever since I married you, I haven't been able to relax on New Year's holiday once. I yelled at him, to which he said,
Oh, I had no idea.
He said quietly and sat back down. You understand what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
Good. Then we're going to visit my parents this year. If possible, I'd like to leave on the 28th.
Okay. I'll talk to Dad tomorrow.
You better. Then I walked into the bedroom. I did it, baby! This year we're going to be able to spend a lot of time together, I said to my son. Then I crawled into bed next to him. Let's just hope Takashi will be able to convince his father. I was still a bit worried. A few moments later, I fell asleep. Morning. The next day, Takashi was up early, even though it was his day off. Then, after breakfast...
All right. Here goes nothing.
He grabbed his phone and called his father.
Hey Dad, it's me. Sorry I missed your call last night.
What happened? And where's your wife? She's not picking up either.
Well,
I could hear him from here. He was so loud.
for New Year's, we're going to visit Ayame's parents this year.
What? What do you mean?
I know everyone back home loves Ayame. They all speak highly of her.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But that's only because you worked her like a dog. She's not your servant. You guys want a party? Fine. But leave us out of it. That's all. Bye.
Wait, Saka!
Then he hung up on me. Phew, he said. He looked over at me and smiled. Thanks, good work. Oh, and one last thing.
Huh?
He seemed confused. I was glad he took care of his father for me, but this year, you're gonna have to help my family with holiday preparations, okay?
What? But I...
If you don't want to, you can go to your dad's, but it's up to you, I said to him. It's okay, we all chip in, it won't take that long.
Okay.
All right then, let's eat some leftover cake. Shingo, come here.
Huh? But we just had breakfast.
It's fine, I'm in a good mood today. For the first time in a while, I was looking forward to the New Year's holiday. Glad everything worked out.
My name is Kaiohei. I work hard at a certain company. My job is definitely fulfilling, and all of my coworkers are hardworking as well. But that's within my department. There are a lot of people that work in this company, and that means I'm gonna stumble into people that I don't get along with.
Oh, Kyohei, you haven't submitted this paperwork.
Huh?
It's due today. What are you going to do? Hurry up.
No, I submitted it the day before yesterday.
That's not true. Hurry up.
This is one of the people that I don't get along with. It's Miss Sayuri from the department next door. After she found out about me, she's clearly picking fights with me. Just like you saw with the documents, she's always nitpicking. If I really didn't submit the papers, then I'd be more apologetic, but I know I submitted the papers, but she nags at me like some annoying elementary school student. Okay then, let's go to your department right now. I know it's there.
It's not there. It's definitely your mistake. Sayuri, what's going on? Kiyomi, listen to this.
Great, the other one. This is the other one that I don't get along with. This is Kiyomi, Sayuri's best friend. Sayuri doesn't like me, so she's always pretty annoying towards me too.
Are you serious, Kyohei? You're a lost cause, huh? Right? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I don't care if I'm lost or found, let's go check your department. After this whole bickering debacle, we went to check her department. Lo and behold, it was there, like I said.
Great, it's here. Come on, Kyohei, don't be so weird. Make it more clear when you submitted it. Seriously, you're giving us such a headache.
Uh-huh. This sort of thing happens often.
Mr. Kyohei, you dealing with those two again?
Yeah. Again? They're the ones I didn't check enough. Sorry for ya. Yeah, I'm getting used to it, it's alright. They said that they treat you like that because you look like her ex, right? Yeah, but according to the people who've actually seen the photos, you barely look like him. Maybe you have the same voice? That's it? I'm sorry, man. I mean, it's not like it affects my work that much. If it did, I'd actually have to do something about it, but... That happens, I'll help you out, man. Me too. Thanks, guys. However, it would turn out that that situation would come sooner than I thought. One day, I was heading to the cafeteria during lunch break when Sayuri started walking towards me with a grin on her face.
Hey, look at this.
And she shoved her phone in my face. The phone said, "This person is stupid, so just go along with what she says." Huh? I was confused by what was on the screen and she just kept grinning.
Jump out of a window.
She said that out loud, dead serious, like she had just won the World Cup. I had no idea what was going on, but I read what was on the screen out loud. "This person is so stupid, so just go along with what she says." Miss Sayuri, what is this? She heard me read her screen aloud and...
Huh?
She didn't seem like she was messing around. She seemed like she really didn't know what was going on. Sayuri looked at her phone, clearly nervous.
What the hell is this?
She exclaimed. No, I'm the one that's confused here.
What the hell is this?
Wait, Miss Sayuri? Sayuri chucked her phone in my direction and started throwing things around her as well. Myself and a few other employees calmed her down and she was taken away to the back by several of her bosses. What the hell was that about? I lost all my time when I was supposed to have lunch and couldn't really eat much. Oh man, they sold out of today's limited meals. The limited meals were also all sold out. After my lunch break was over, I went back to my department. A little while after, I was taken by the boss who took Sayuri. I was thinking that I didn't want to see her, but she was all calm because she was surrounded by her superiors. She was actually bawling her eyes out. According to my boss, she thought that she was using a hypnosis app on me. Popular in China and Japan. They'll listen to anything you say, also the app suggested. You just turn the app on and show your screen to them. However, make sure you don't hypnotize yourself. Great app, really. However, the message just shows up, embarrassing the person. However, she showed this to Kiyomi and...
Go buy me a drink.
Kiyomi decided to just go with it. She was apparently believing in it, so she tried to get me to jump out of a window.
I figured since it's a hypnosis app, it wouldn't be my fault if you died.
Or so her story went. Is she stupid? Not to believe it, she apparently put in about $5,000 into this app. She was crying this much because she just figured out that she was scammed. I play games too, but I've never put that much money into this. Why does she have this app at all? All of the bosses had a look of pity as well. The office is on the 4th floor. If the hypnosis worked, I was thinking about it, but I had no real proof of the interaction. And all that remained was the $5,000 that was gone in the joke app. Sayuri was too stupid. I mean, pitiful that her boss chewed her out. I hope she wisens up from this. Sayuri was bawling, so she came to me to apologize. Wait, no, she never did. Actually, Kiyomi said,
If you had just gone along with everything, this whole thing wouldn't have happened.
Something going way too far. What? Are you saying you wanted me to kill myself?
That's not what I said. You could at least walk towards a window or something. Then I didn't have to hear my boss chew me out like that. This is so stupid. You're seriously such a square.
What? She wasn't there, but apparently Sayuri's boss actually chewed up Kiyomi as well for spurring the whole thing on in the first place.
I didn't do anything wrong. If I get a bad evaluation because of you, I'm totally going to sue you.
After this whole thing, Sayuri and Kiyomi stopped getting along. They used to mess with me at first, but now they mess with each other like some elementary schoolers. That's probably an insult to elementary schoolers. My niece is better suited to live in society. Sayuri got too mad and shoved Kiyomi right off the stairs at the train station. Kiyomi hit her head hard and was injured. Sayuri was arrested on the spot, so I'm sure a lot of people saw since it was at the train station. Crazy. If the police call, let me handle it. If you received the call, just give me the phone. Why is that? Well, it's Sayuri. So I'm sure I should say something like, you spurred her on or something. Oh, yeah, that's actually true. However, there was never a call from the police. Kiyomi left the hospital and came back to work, but rumor of her wrongdoings had long spread throughout the offices. She seemed like things were way too uncomfortable and slowly disappeared from the offices. That whole stupid app was the reason that this all happened, but I'm sure Sayuri and Kiyomi both would have done something that crossed the line. It was pretty surprising, but since they've left the offices, My life has never been better. You all be careful about hypnosis apps too.
I own a small business with 3 employees. I live with my husband and daughter. I want me to make you some brownies for Valentine's Day?
Brownies? Sounds good!
We all got along pretty well. Life was good. 2 years ago, my older brother passed away. I still miss him very much, but I've moved on. He was diagnosed with terminal cancer a few years ago. I still can't believe he's gone. He was quite wealthy. He left us hundreds of thousands of dollars. I had my own business and everything, but I've never seen that much money before. I didn't really know what to do with it at first. I better put into my savings account for now. Gotta spend this money carefully. I talked to my husband about it too. We decided to put it all into our rainy day fund. Anyways, things settled down after that. But then one day, something happened.
Hey, my parents asked me if they could borrow some money. You still got that money your brother left you, right? Can you lend them some?
What? My parents-in-law wanted to borrow some money from me. For what?
Not sure, but they sounded desperate.
But they're your parents. I gotta know what it's for. How much do they want anyways? Didn't he have a savings of his own? How much money are we talking about here? Then he said to me,
$100,000.
What? No way! I said to him, but that didn't matter.
But I already told them yes.
Fine, I'll go talk to them myself. I'm not lending them money. I headed to his parents' house right away. So, what do you need the money for? $100,000 is a lot of money. They looked at each other in silence. But when I told them that I was leaving, my mother-in-law finally said, Runa, she cheated on her husband, and she needs $100,000 to pay him in damages. Again? Runa was my husband's sister. She got caught cheating on her husband 3 years ago. She made her daughter wait outside in mid-August while her boyfriend was over. When you heard about that, you were really mad, so you didn't want to tell me what the money was for.
Pretty much.
My family never had trouble like this, but my husband's family was a mess. They were used to this kind of stuff.
Runa doesn't have that kind of money, and neither do my parents. Just help them out. Come on, it's only $100,000.
Was he being serious? I told them I wasn't going to give them a dime. They started freaking out. They called me all kinds of names on my way out. I hated Runa. She was a homewrecker. I wasn't going to help her.
They got nowhere else to go. Just lend them the money. Come on. You're being unreasonable.
My husband said to me in the car. So now I was the bad guy? The next day,
Dad says he's gonna cancel my education insurance.
what?
I asked him if you knew about this, but then he just got up and left. I'm sorry, Mom.
You don't have to apologize, baby. Thanks for telling me. I'm done with him. My husband tried to take money from our daughter's college fund. Unbelievable. He didn't know where I kept the bank book, so he asked my daughter where it was. And when she asked him what it was for,
I'm gonna cancel your education insurance.
he said to her,
Does Mom know about this?
She doesn't have to. Look, Runa is in trouble. Don't you feel sorry for her? What's wrong with you? Forget it. I'm out of here.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He can't get away with this. I asked him where he was.
Her husband is asking her to pay child support too. He's gonna take her daughter away from her. I feel really bad for her, so I'm gonna go talk to her.
What the hell is he talking about? What happened to him? He used to be such a nice person. Where did we go wrong? His sister. She got caught cheating on her husband and she needs the money to pay her husband.
Oh, I see. Well, if you want to get a divorce, it's fine. Lots of people get divorced these days. I'll be fine.
She was such a sweet kid. I felt like crying, but I didn't have time for that. This was my chance. Sorry, baby. We started packing. I didn't want to put my daughter through this, but I had no choice. I couldn't live with this man anymore. My husband didn't come home for a few days. That actually worked to our advantage. I found a good divorce lawyer and found a new apartment for us to move into. A few days later, we moved out. Then I got a call from my sister-in-law's husband. He came to see me with his lawyer.
Runa told me she was ready to pay me, but there's no way she has that kind of money, so I asked her where she got it, and...
My sister-in-law's gonna pay for me. No worries.
She said to him. I don't think so.
I didn't believe her, but she kept saying the same thing. So, that's why I called.
I kind of felt bad for him. I told him everything he wanted to know.
I'm so sorry I got you involved in all this.
You don't have to apologize. You did nothing wrong. We talked for about an hour. His lawyer gave me a card for a lawyer who specialized in asset management. He said it would come in handy, so that was kinda nice. Anyways, a few days later, I got a text from my husband.
Runa wants to apologize. Come home, will you?
Does he really think I'd let him off the hook? That everything would go back to normal? Think again. He even texted Aya, trying to explain himself, but I told her to ignore it. He just doesn't get it. Whatever, I'm done with him. I'm glad he left us the money, but I don't want to become dependent on it. We talked about this many times. We'll use it as a rainy day fund for family emergencies.
Yeah, you're right.
But saving his dumb sister didn't count as a family emergency to me. She's not even family. And she always looked down on me. She made fun of the fact that my company only had 3 employees. Why would I lend her a dime? I'd rather spend it on something else. I got a call from my in-laws a few days later. They didn't want me to leave their son because if I did that, it'll be impossible to come up with $100,000 for their daughter. I'm just an ATM machine to them. Then for some reason, I got a text from my sister-in-law.
Can we still be friends? Our kids seem to like each other, so LOL.
I don't think we were friends to begin with, and leave the kids out of this. And her husband is gonna take custody of her daughter anyways. And another thing, $100,000 was just for damages. She still had to pay him child support. So even if I lend them the money, it won't solve their problems. But lend us $100,000. I don't think they realize that. What a bunch of idiots. Whatever, I'm done with them. They're not even my real family. I'm gonna ask my husband to pay for child support too. But as for damages, I wasn't gonna ask him for much. He tried to cancel the education insurance, but he was too dumb to figure out how to do it, so my daughter's college fund was safe. But this was still his fault, so I had to sue him for damages, just as a formality. Whatever, I just want to get this over with. When I saw the amount of money my brother left me, I thought I was gonna faint. But I grew up in a poor family, so I didn't even know what to do with it. I guess that was a good thing now that I think about it. My husband wasn't a big spender either, but I guess having all that money changed him. I'm glad I didn't tell him the exact amount of money my brother left me. If I had, they probably would have asked me for more. Anyways, a few months later, the divorce was finalized. Aya made some new friends at her new school. I was so happy for her.
My friends and I are gonna make some chocolate next weekend.
I see. Try making some with marshmallows.
Sounds good.
Oh, and as for my ex-sister-in-law, she got dumped by her boyfriend right after the divorce. Not sure what happened to her after that, but according to her ex-husband,
She paid me in full.
that's good, I guess. Not sure how she came with the money, but whatever. I don't really want to know. Well, I guess she got what she deserved. Good riddance.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Bye.